This program is brought to you by Newsworks in cooperation with the City of Eau Claire. This program is simulcast on WRFP-LP 101.9 FM. The Eau Claire City Council meeting will return in a moment. Newsworks is made possible by continuing community support. If you would like to volunteer or make a donation, please contact us via phone at 715-839-5067 or online at valleymediaworks.org. This program is simulcast on WRFP-LP 101.9 FM. We now return you to the Eau Claire City Council meeting.
The Eau Claire City Council meeting will now come to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Anderson. Here. Beaton. Benjamin. Here. Berge. Here. Christopherson. Here. Manuel. Here. Braggart.
Here.
Klinkhammer.
Here.
Lohr.
Here.
Brown.
Here.
Workman.
Here. And good afternoon, and welcome back, both to council members and to all of you joining us here to our official Eau Claire City Council chambers. And again, it's nice to be back here in a familiar place again. So again, just want to thank and acknowledge both our city manager and our department heads and our city staff for getting us through this past year. I'd like to think that it went without any hitches. I'm sure there was a few frustrations, but it is amazing that we can pick up and move our city hall and still operate and continue to flow smoothly and then move back within a year's time. So a big thank you to all of them and to the council and to the residents of Eau Claire for being patient with that. Again, welcome to our Tuesday, September 10th legislative session of the Eau Claire City Council. During its legislative session, the council deliberates and takes action on agenda items before us today. City staff and council members have spent a great deal of time preparing for this meeting. Thank you to the residents that joined us or that are joining us here this afternoon. Also thank you to Valley Media Works for live streaming this proceeding for those of you not able to join us in person. To watch, please visit valleymediaworks.org or visit channel 994 on Spectrum Cable. It is also available at 101.9 FM. You can find past meetings on YouTube under the Triple Valley Media Works channel. We do have a late but again productive agenda, so we'll get started. The first item of business is the consent agenda, and council has that before them. We have a request to remove item number 9 from the first vote, and we'll vote on that separately. Does council have any other items that they have questions about that is in the consent agenda? Councilmember Christopherson.
I'd like to remove item number 13, please.
You have a question or?
For information, yes.
Okay. Any other council members have questions or would like to remove that? Do you want to ask your question, see if we can address it without pulling it out?
Thank you. There was on item number 13, a resolution awarding a contract for the downtown Riverwalk Trail. There was an item in the Eau Claire paper over the weekend, and I just thought it would be helpful to hear how the money is acquired and used if that construction is not completed this fall.
Mr. Winsands.
Thank you for the question, Councilmember Christopherson. It's good to be on. When we each spring we start preparing for the upcoming debt financings or bond issues for the city, and when we begin the process of preparing for those, we work very closely with the engineering department. department to determine which projects are going to be proceeding and what the schedule is for those projects, because and also we take a look at what our balances are in those capital project funds, because we always want to try to make sure we're borrowing I guess the least amount of money as possible, so that it's being borrowed in a timely manner. So hopefully it isn't sitting in the bank for a long time, because the period we're paying more interest on those dollars that we borrow than we can earn an investment. So in the case of a project that isn't where we may be starting construction in the fall but won't be completing construction until the springtime, oftentimes we'll hold off on that borrowing until the following spring or summer. That's one of the advantages of having a sufficient fund balance, is we can use that fund balance to bridge those gaps between when we need to spend funds and when we might borrow funds to do that. So.
Thank you very much.
Any other questions? Seeing none. The consent agenda is before you, with the item number 9 being removed for a separate vote. On a motion by Councilmember Berge and seconded by Councilmember Lohr, consent agenda is moved, minus agenda item number 9. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Anderson.
Aye.
Benjamin. Aye. Berge.
Aye.
Christopherson.
Aye.
Emmanuel.
Aye.
Raygert.
Aye.
Klinkhammer.
Aye.
Lohr.
Aye.
Well.
Aye.
Workman.
And the consent agenda is passed. Councilmember Emmanuel.
Thank you, Council President. I will be recusing myself from this item, and I'll return to chambers after it's completed.
So a motion by Councilmember Christopherson, seconded by Councilmember Klinkhammer, agenda item number 9 is moved. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Benjamin.
Aye.
Berge.
Aye.
Christopherson.
Aye.
Raygert.
Aye.
Klinkhammer.
Aye.
Lohr.
Aye.
Well.
Aye.
Workman.
Aye.
Anderson.
Aye.
And that consent agenda item is also passed. Welcome back. Let's see, we have a couple of proclamations today, which is always a good thing. If I could, first of all, have Frank Drexler, Operations Manager, and Matt Tyson, Facilities Director for the Eau Claire County, meet me up at the podium. So, again, as I mentioned in our opening remarks, this was a year transition for us, and we relied a great deal on the cooperation and the facilities that the county had to offer for us by using their boardroom. And so we really wanted to recognize them and the custodians and everyone that was a part of that whole process for the past year, and we really wanted also to show our appreciation for all that the county did to help us through that. So in recognition and appreciation, whereas the renovation of the City of Eau Claire City Hall complex is now complete, and the Eau Claire City Council is now officially called to order in the chamber it calls home, and whereas for the past year, Eau Claire City Council public hearings, legislative sessions, closed sessions, work sessions, and other City of Eau Claire meetings have been held in Eau Claire County Government Center boardroom and other conference rooms. And whereas in the spirit of partnership, Eau Claire County welcomed the City of Eau Claire with open arms and cheerfully accommodated and coordinated various meeting times and dates over the course of the past year. And county custodial staff was helpful, easy to work with, and occasionally adjusted to work hours to accommodate the business of the City of Eau Claire. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Eau Claire that the City Council, together with the city staff and the citizens of Eau Claire, hereby express our respect and appreciation to Eau Claire to the board and staff of Eau Claire County for their consideration, collaboration, and contribution to keeping the city of Eau Claire working smoothly through the renovation of historic City Hall. Thank you. Also, I have a second proclamation today, and if I could have Ms. Fraze of the Coalition for Nonviolence, please turn up. Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
Another coalition.
Okay, maybe we can have you want to introduce them? or-
Sure. This is Carolyn Conway and Kathy Reed Walker.
Hi, good to see you, thanks for being here. Yeah, thanks, Jim. All right, so here we're recognizing and wanting to share the International Day of Peace. So this proclamation reads, whereas the issue of peace embraces the deepest hopes of all people and remains humanity's guiding inspiration. And whereas in 1981, the United Nations proclaimed that the International Day of Peace be devoted to commemorating and strengthening the ideals of peace both within and among all nations and peoples. And the United Nations expanded the observance of the International Day of Peace in 2001 to include the call for a day of global ceasefire and nonviolence, and invited all nations and people to honor a cessation of hostilities for the duration of the day. And whereas there is a growing support within our city for the observance of International Day of Peace, which affirms a vision of our world at peace and fosters cooperation between individuals, organizations, and nations. And global cities impel all citizens to work together toward converting humanity's noblest aspirations for world peace into practical reality for future generations. Now, therefore, I, Terry Weld, President of the Eau Claire City Council, on behalf of the entire City Council, do hereby recognize September 21st as the International Day of Peace throughout the City of Eau Claire, and acknowledge the efforts of all government agencies, organizations, schools, places of worship, and individuals in our city to commemorate in an appropriate manner. The International Day of Peace is to help establish a global day of peace in our homes, our communities, and between nations. Congratulations. Thank you.
Does this go under your,
Uh,
I don't know, where is it? I did just want to let you know that our celebration of peace event on the 21st, in recognition of the International Day, we are one of over 3,000 events happening across the United States, and some of them go through the whole week from the 14th through the 22nd. And that we are one of 7 in Wisconsin that I know of so far, and none of them right in this area too. And the coalition believes that violence is a cultural problem, not a political problem. And our mission is to communicate how violence impacts our community and to promote peaceful practices and behaviors. So we like kind of using the arts to do our communication and education, and so that's what we're up to. We have got a lot of cooperation from the UW Student Senate. Austin Gulbranson, who is the Intergovernmental Affairs Director, I think is his title on the Senate. I believe that the Student Senate is going to be having a recognition of the day also, but they are doing the emceeing of our program, and we have a 12-woman a cappella group from the UW that's singing at it too. And we have 4 elementary school kids and a teenager reading original peace poetry. It's just a fun thing to use the arts to come together and talk about peaceful behaviors and getting along better. Thank you very much.
All right, we'll move on to our business agenda, and beginning with agenda item number 14, which is a resolution awarding a contract for procurement number 2019-49, the Southeast Zone pressure reducing valve station. Because this item recommends the budget, a 2/3 vote of the elected members or 8 affirmative votes is required for adoption. And Ms. Les is here to talk to us about that. Welcome.
Thank you. Good afternoon. The recommendation before us today is for a pressure reducing valve station located in the southeastern portion of the city near Prairie Circle and the development there. It was a recommendation of the 2014 water system study that was completed. As a part of the recommendation, it is to award the contract to McCabe Construction for the reducing valve station. Another portion of the recommendation is for a budgetary adjustment, and that is to adjust the 2014 construction estimate to the inflation for $2019, and it includes the engineering fees that SEH did for the plans that McCabe did their bid items off of. Additionally, the request today is not awarded to the lowest bidder, is awarded to McCabe Construction, who could complete the project within this construction year. Any questions?
Does council have any questions? Ms. Ness? I don't see any. Thank you. So a motion by Councilmember Workman and seconded by Councilmember Gregor. This item is moved. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Berge.
Aye.
Christopherson.
Aye.
Emmanuel.
Aye.
Raygert.
Aye.
Klinkhammer.
Aye.
Lohr.
Aye.
Weld.
Aye.
Workman.
Aye.
Anderson.
Aye.
Benjamin.
And that item passes. Agenda item number 15, which is a resolution accepting and appropriating a stipend from Marshfield Clinic Health System and Security Health Plan to assist with the e-cigarette vaping preventive initiatives. Again, because this item amends the budget, a 2/3 vote of the elected officials or 8 affirmative votes is required for adoption. Ms. Thompson.
Hi.
Thank you. Good morning, or good afternoon.
Good afternoon. This resolution accepts and appropriates a $500 stipend from Marshfield Clinic and Security Health Plan. The stipend was awarded to the Eau Claire County Public Safety members that are part of a group, a county group that needs to discuss vaping problems in our community. This group includes the Eau Claire Police Department, Eau Claire Fire Department, and the Eau Claire County Sheriff's Office. The funds will be used for social media ads, handouts, and other materials that will be placed in schools. I can take questions.
Does council have any questions for Ms. Thompson? I don't see any. Thank you. So on a motion by Councilmember Manuel and seconded by Councilmember Benjamin, this item is moved. Is there any discussion? Councilmember Christopherson.
Thank you, President. Well, I just wanted to share with my council colleagues that I did have some response from constituents in District 4, and they were all school-aged individuals, and they're very interested in this topic, and they're very interested in the fact that this has been offered to the city to participate. So on their behalf, I'm very supportive.
Great, thank you. Any other discussion? Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Christopherson.
Aye.
Emmanuel. Aye. Raygert.
Aye.
Klinkhammer.
Aye.
Lohr.
Aye.
Weld.
Aye.
Workman.
Aye.
Anderson.
Aye.
Benjamin. Berge.
Aye.
And that item passes. There are no ordinance for action on our agenda today, but there are 2 ordinances for introduction. The first is agenda item number 16, an ordinance rezoning a property located at 2327 Melanie Lane from R1A to R2P and to adopt the general development plan for 2 proposed duplexes and 1 existing single-family home. And agenda item number 17, an ordinance rezoning a property located on the north side of Seymour Road from TR1A to R1, file number 1651-19. Does council wish to discuss either of these two items this afternoon? Seeing none, we will move on to announcements. City Manager Peters.
Thank you, Council President. Well, just a couple of announcements. The closed session following this meeting is going to be up in the North Conference Room, so that is a change from the notice, but we'll put a note on the door, so we're going to be going up to the North Conference Room. On Saturday is the International Fall Festival, and hopefully you'll have a chance to get out and see that. It's a wonderful event in downtown Eau Claire. And then next Thursday on the 19th is the Fallen Firefighter Memorial. It's going to be held this year at Station 10, rather than Florian Gardens. So we've got the new fire station, and we're going to be doing it there at 10 o'clock on Thursday, September 19th. And then there's Eggs and Issues at the Lismore on Friday the 20th. And our very own Dave Solberg, I think we got a picture of this, right? Just last night, he's at the National APWA, American Public Works Association, received an award for Public Work Project of the Year, which is the Causeway. So Dave's not here, able to be here with us tonight, but this was him last night receiving the award for the Project of the Year from the American Public Works Association. So congratulations to Dave on that one. And that's all I have for this evening. Wait, there will be more formal recognition of this later.
All right, does council have any announcements? Seeing none, a motion by Councilmember Anderson and seconded by Councilmember Berge. The City Council may go into closed session to conduct the communication check-in with the City Manager, an employee over whom the City Council exercises responsibility which is permitted in closed session pursuant to Section 19.851C of the Wisconsin statutes. Is there any discussion regarding the closed session? Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Emanuel. Aye. Draegert.
Aye.
Klinkhammer.
Aye.
Lohr.
Aye.
Weld.
Aye.
Worthman.
Aye.
Anderson.
Aye.
Benjamin. Berge.
Aye.
Christopherson. Aye.
And that passes, so we will go into closed session and look forward to seeing everyone again in a couple of weeks. Thanks for coming.
This program was brought to you by a cooperation between Newsworks and the City of Eau Claire. A transcript of this meeting is available for the hearing impaired. It will be available within 7 days of this telecast. Call 715-839-4912 or TDD 715-839-1689. Or write Eau Claire City Clerk, P.O. Box 5148, Eau Claire, Wisconsin 54702-5148. Newsworks is made possible by continuing community support. If you would like to volunteer or make a donation, please contact us via phone at 715-839-5067 or online at valleymediaworks.org.